Final promo for the NFL season in NFL 2K Playmakers, and I'm going to have to say it's probably the best promo that we've had since the inception of the game. Certainly a lot to look at, certainly a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the new game mode Playmakers Pick'ems. I'm going to tell you, my predictions, I guess. Of course, y'all are going to have to let me know in the comments what is your predictions, at least for the first round. If you're late to the game, which this did go live a couple days ago, there's still a couple hours to start making your picks. We got two events going on simultaneously right now, or at least going to in a couple hours. So, of course, we're going to talk about that, look at all of the playoff cards and all that stuff. Let's jump in. So first, let's take a look at the promo playoff cards, which the design looks absolutely amazing. I love it. New theme for the next month as well. So that's always really cool. I thought that was a great addition to the game. Rotating themes, adding the cards to your deck. That way it gives you bonuses when you play other things. But either way, it's a whole bunch of cards, 24 in the game right now, and there's actually two extra, I think Gibbs and Mahomes, which is both Amber tier cards for the next round. I believe those might be pay-to-win cards that you only can get out of packs. I'm not really quite sure yet, but at least the ones that we can get from the game mode pick'em and from the events that are going to be going on, and also from Game Changers. These are what they're going to look like, and they look amazing. I love the design of them. A couple of these are certainly much needed players that have not had cards in the game that have been doing really well, playing and getting a lot of playing time, getting some pretty good stats, and being able to use them in Game Changers. It's always nice to get new players and new cards. Now, these playoff cards are very important to collect because they will evolve, which is a really cool feature that they're adding, at least for the playoffs. And there's a couple places to pick these up at, and one is going to be during the seasons. In all of the seasons from Diamond, not in Onyx, but from Diamond all the way on down, there are going to be 3 playoff cards in each season except for Emerald. And so you're going to be able to, if you can do the seasons, no matter what tier you are, as long as you win the Super Bowl, you're going to pick up 3 of them, 1 in divisional, 1 in conference, 1 in Super Bowl. Like I said, besides for the Emerald tier. 2 events going on right now. End Zone Rush. This one has so many of the playoff cards right now, which, for the milestones, just even if you're lower tiered, this event is absolutely amazing, being able to pick them up in the pick'em packs, which again, we'll talk about in just a second. And then also, if you're lower tiered in End Zone Rush, I mean, this is very low milestones being able to pick them up. So you could pick up a ton in here. Of course, for the leaderboard, you could pick them up. Pick up the main card, the Amber tiered card. We also have Road to Glory, which is starting in just a few hours. So we're going to have 2 events going on simultaneously, which, as far as all of the games Cat Daddy's ever made, WWE Supercard and NFL 2K, NBA Supercard, My NBA 2K, NHL. I mean, all of the Supercard games that they've ever done. I don't remember a time where they had 2 main events going on simultaneously. Now, before we talk about the actual my picks anyway, and discuss some of these games, some of the things that I'm scared about, maybe even predictions all the way up to the Super Bowl, let's talk about how this works. And we have each round, you're going to make picks. Who is going to win the game? That's the only thing you really got to do. This isn't Game Changers where you're putting in players. This is just making specific picks. Each one of the games for each round, you're going to make picks. And for the first round, for the wild card round, there are 6 total games. And if you get the prediction right, you're going to get a token, these silver tokens down here for the very first round. And there are 6 total games. And so if you get all 6 of the games right, you can pick up this legendary wild card pack for 6 tokens. I'm assuming, again, you get 1 token per win. If they give you like 2 tokens per win, that would be even better, obviously, because you do have to get all 6 right in order to get this pack, which is going to be pretty tough to do. I mean, it might seem that it might be easy based on the matchups for the first round, but there's always upsets. It is the NFL. And so getting all 6 right sometimes is a little bit harder than you might think. But if you can just get one of these packs and pick up some of these playoff cards, which is also, really cool that they're available in here. But this is the interesting thing. If you look all the way at the very end, what it appears that is going to happen, and I'm just basing this solely on what I see. For each round that specific team wins, you go from the wild card round, which all of the cards are wild card round, except for Gibbs and Mahomes because they have bye rounds. They go into divisional. But when a card wins, the card then evolves into the next round. So all of the teams that are in the wild card that have the wild card cards, all of those teams that win will then evolve into a divisional card, which means their stats are going to go up just a little bit. And then all of those teams that win the divisional round will go to the championship round, and those stats again will evolve. And then if they make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to get this entire new card design as Super Bowl champions. And so I don't have my glasses on. I can't see these little tiny numbers, but you look at Jordan Love. His stats look like 3,500 or something like that for the base tier wild card, and it evolves all the way to 4,100 if you win the Super Bowl. And so whatever tier the card is for that particular team that makes it all the way as a Super Bowl winner, their card is going to increase. Looks like a percentage of the stats. If that's 600 out of 3,500, that looks like about 1/6 of the entire card value will increase. So that's really cool. And love the new design. Love the idea. I think it's brilliant. And it's, kind of makes us want to collect them all. Kind of makes us want to get all the cards because they're all going to evolve. I mean, even if they go from wild card to divisional, some of those are going to evolve, but then some of those that evolve to divisional are then going to lose the next game, right? And so they're only going to be evolved to divisional, and then the next ones are going to go to championship. So you're going to have a bunch of cards evolve 1, 2, possibly 3 total times. So you're going to want to collect all of them that you possibly can, get as many duplicates as you can, and get some juice cards with some cool designs. Now, as far as the tokens for the other rounds, it does look like, obviously that they only have the wild card packs in here right now. And so I'm assuming that once the wild card weekend is over this weekend, which games start tomorrow, we have 2 games tomorrow, 3 games on Sunday, and then a game on Monday. And once this wild card round is over, then the following week, we're going to get these red tokens and we're going to have 2 more packs and they're going to have different cards in it. It's going to have only the divisional cards that made it to the evolution to the divisional round. So you'll be able to pick them up in there. And then same with the championship round. It's going to have another one. And then it's going to be for the same for the Super Bowl. Now, I am a little confused because it looks like they have more tokens than there are rounds in the playoffs, but either way, maybe there's something else in here that I don't know about, but that seems like the basic idea on how it's going to work. All right, now let's talk about the picks. And again, let me know in the comments if, what your predictions are. Do you have any upsets going on? And a lot of these games, at least in the first round, might seem a little obvious, especially on the AFC side, as opposed to the NFC side, where it could be possibly up in the air. And there are definitely a couple things to talk about. But the Chargers and Houston, and I live in Houston, so this one is a little bit tough for me. I want to go with Houston, but Houston is missing some weapons. The Chargers have looked inconsistent sometimes, but still playing really well. It's really hard to go against the Chargers in this particular matchup. Even though Houston is at home, I kind of feel like it's going to be the Chargers. And the next 2 are obvious to me. Baltimore, I don't think Pittsburgh has any chance. Same with Denver. I don't I don't think Denver has any chance against Buffalo. So these two for sure, I feel like are locks. This one is almost up in the air to me. I think Houston has the possibility of being able to win. They have, but they don't look good at quite a few times, and their offense seems to be going down and seems to be struggling a little bit. I do still like the Chargers. Philly and Green Bay. Now, this one scares me quite a bit because Hurts has been out for 2 weeks. He had a concussion, hasn't played. They at least say that both of them are healthy, Love and Hurts. They say that both of them are healthy, that both of them are on the full practice team, and that they are going to play and everything's all good. But like I said, Hurts hasn't played in 2 weeks and he's had a concussion. And, obviously your brain is a big deal when it comes to not only football, but being the quarterback, making decisions and doing things like that. So this matchup scares me. And depending on the health of the quarterback and how well Hurts played after being gone for 2 weeks, Green Bay could win this. I think they could win this. And so this matchup does scare me. I'm a little surprised on the Tampa Bay Washington, how they have Tampa Bay is only 42% and Washington is 58. That's kind of surprising to me because I really like Tampa Bay. I really like their team. I really like how they're playing. I really like Baker Mayfield, man. He's just come back. They have fantastic weapons pretty much everywhere. And so I'm a little surprised at this 42%. I really like Tampa Bay, and I think Tampa Bay could possibly make a run to the championship round, even being able to get past the divisional side. Rams in Minnesota. This is another game that scares me in the NFC with Minnesota playing Detroit last week. Looked absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. They struggled so much in that game that it scares me. And I think the Rams could pull off an upset in this one. And so these are probably the two games right here that I would watch the most. I think the Rams have a possibility of pulling out an upset against Minnesota. And I think Green Bay also has the possibility of pulling out an upset. I don't have enough confidence in it. And I'm going with Philly and Minnesota, obviously, like you see here, but I would certainly keep an eye out. Now, as far as the rest of the playoffs go, of course, we can make predictions after each week. So we're not locked in to the entire bracket, but just at least preliminary, what it looks like is that the lowest seed out of all these winners plays Kansas City. So if we do have an upset, Pittsburgh, Denver, the bracket shows that they'll go down here, but they actually, whatever the lowest seed is, that is going to who's going to play Kansas City. And as far as the lowest seeds go, I don't think anybody has a shot against Kansas City, no matter who it is. The Chargers, Pittsburgh, or Denver, if any of those win, or Houston, if any of those win, they're going to play Kansas City. And I think Kansas City is going to roll them. As far as the other two, Baltimore and Buffalo, I actually like Baltimore. I think Baltimore has a good possibility of making it to the Super Bowl. I kind of like them going to the Super Bowl, maybe even going through Kansas City as well. We're going to have to see how well they play first round and second round before we get to that point. But I'm really liking Baltimore, at least as far as the AFC side goes. And then as far as the NFC side goes, this is an absolute toss-up. I do really like Tampa Bay. Detroit has looked phenomenal every single time. I think that they've run out and that they're not going to, that they're just on a streak and they've just been lucky. They keep proving me wrong week after week after week after week. So it's really not hard to believe that Detroit has the possibility of making it to the Super Bowl as well. But besides for Detroit, I actually like Tampa Bay. I don't know why, but I really like Tampa Bay. And then if Hurts is healthy, I think that Philadelphia certainly has a shot to make it to the Super Bowl as well. The last month or so, I've been really impressed with this game. And there's not a lot necessarily in the game, and there's still a lot of things that are missing. So The longevity of it, I'm still a little bit concerned about. But at least the last month or so, I've been, pretty impressed. I mean, the Winterference promo was amazing. Very free to play friendly, and a lot of people picked up some amazing cards. We had no problem getting the Lamar Jackson done. This whole entire track. This is the first time in which they've had a promo that's been free to play friendly, I would say, in my opinion. All the ones before this were pay to win, really bad. Not as bad as the Thanksgiving one was kind of mixed, half and half, I guess, free to play and pay to win in a little bit. But Winterference was an amazing promo. And then they followed that promo up with, again, the best promo they've had since the launch of the game, adding in a new game mode. Obviously, when this season's over, I don't know, what are they going to do? We're not going to have game changers. We're not going to have pick'ems. And playing these two events every single week will get old really quick if there's nothing else to do. So I think it's going to be crucial this offseason if they add teams and team events and something to do with the teams. Obviously, the promos are going to make a big deal. If they have a Hall of Famers, if they add some Hall of Famers and find a way to incorporate Hall of Famers, of course, we have the NFL draft coming. And the NFL draft was one of the absolute worst, probably the worst promo in the entire game. I absolutely hated the NFL promo, or the NFL draft promo. Almost forgot what they look like, but here's what they look like. This was the NFL draft promo. And these cards are ridiculously stupid. It looks like bathroom tiles, and these designs on here, obviously with these images, just look absolutely ridiculous. So this was like one of the very first promos that we had in the game, which was, to me, the worst promo of the game, just because the cards were so ugly. And I don't want to see that this year. Will they get the rights to the images? I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. But either way, what they do in the offseason is certainly going to be huge, I think, for this game going forward. And what are the promos going to be like? Will we finally get some teams? Will we get Hall of Fame cards? I think that's also very important. But either way, I'm excited for this promo. We're probably going to be streaming it, of course, these two events, probably today. So be sure to like, subscribe, and hopefully I see everybody again soon. Let me know what your pick'ems are for this week, and I'll see y'all then. Y'all take it easy. We're out. Peace.